Yo, welcome to Miracle Mindset for Men, episode 5. I am your host, Heru Dre, aka Dre, aka Handsome Heru. Tonight's episode is titled Brotherhood / Fellowship. We're going to talk a little bit about the importance of brotherhood and what it means to have one and the benefits of having one. So we'll get right into it. I don't have a definition for this per se. I'm not going to read a definition of brotherhood because it really kind of speaks for itself. But for people who want to know what brotherhood is, it is a group of men, doesn't matter the amount of people, who come together with a common goal from different aspects of life, who hold each other responsible, who are righteous, and who are responsible, righteous, and things like that. And respectable. The 3 R's. Responsible, righteousness, and respectable. I've been doing a little bit of research for the past couple of months about the suicide rates that's been going on in America. I don't necessarily get all my information off of the internet. I do a little bit more deep searching from different studies outside of Google. And I came across a very interesting article about the suicide rates in America, that black men have the highest suicide rate in America. And I remember I spoke on this last year, in June, I think it was around Father's Day, why it's important that men need to, especially black men, we need to have a space where we can vent and let out how we feel and how the world is pressuring us and making us feel like we're less than what we are. And not to mention with everything that's going on outside of society looking at us a certain way, we also have the internet who are looking at us a certain way. And there's been a lot of talk about, women feel like this is what a man's supposed to be, should do this and do that. I don't get off into that. I listen to the interesting concepts and the perspective of people, but I don't necessarily agree or disagree. I just observe it and I just take it for what it is, right? But I'm not here to talk about men versus women. I'm here to talk about the mental wellness of men, because it is in fact, and this is based off of my own experience, because I have a lot of conversations with a lot of different men, especially men in the gym. That's where you get most of the insight from other men and how they view life from their point, right? And we all have a lot of things in common for the most part, is that we go to the gym to escape the world for a while, to get our solitude and our mental health, our physical health, and our definitely spiritual health together in order, because we know, well, some of us know, can't say all. Some people can be oblivious to things, and some people are just living just to be living, We understand that we are the most targeted when it comes to trying to destroy us, and we need each other now more than ever. And this is what inspired me to create this show or podcast or whatever, because I feel like men need a safe space and they need a place where they can be who they are without judgment and without the pressure of the world that's been placed on them. And whether they have a girl or not, they probably feel like they can't have these conversations with their woman because they don't feel comfortable or trust how she may feel about him, or if they're married and they don't feel or trust how their wife might feel or think of them. So I think it's very important to have a brotherhood, because at least in this brotherhood you have a place where you can be who you are without judgment. And if you're wrong about something, your brother's supposed to check you, right? And I think that's another very important thing. You gotta, when you looking for a brotherhood or a fellowship, it's similar. You want to be around men who all have the same thing in common. We all got one goal in common, and we want to see you succeed and be the man we know you can be, and be the greatest man ever, whether it's for your family, whether it's for your friends, whether it's for society, and definitely whether it's for yourself. And I think that's very important to have those type of men in your life. I've had conversations with men who are older than me, my age, and younger than me. And the men who are my age or older than me, we kind of understand how life is being portrayed against us, and yet we still got to fight through. So our battles are a lot harder than any other person on this planet. I'm not saying country, I'm just talking about period, point blank period. Some people might want to argue me that. That's fine, you can do that, but before you do that, make sure you do the research, because I've been doing this research for almost about a year. So, and then I'm going around having the experiences and asking the questions and having the conversations with the men, because I can't keep going off what people are saying on the internet, because a lot of times I don't believe everything that's on the internet. I really think a lot of things are clickbait. Probably about 85% of the shit that's on the internet is fabricated and clickbait, in my opinion. So that means only 15% of this stuff that's being put out there actually holds some type of substance and truth to it. So, I mean, y'all can take that for what it is. So let's get into the importance of brotherhood. All men need a brotherhood. You need a place where you can go when you're tripping, or if you're going through a heartbreak or anything like that. You need your brothers around you to help you push forward and get past it. Okay, we all know that majority of men are problem solvers. We know about the problem, now we're trying to solve the problem. It's okay to talk about the problem. You spend 20% on the problem, and you spend 80% on solving the problem, right? And it's imperative that we have that type of structure within a community of men who will hold you responsible for your actions, what you think, say, and feel. Because a lot of times you can make things bigger than what it is, or it can be something bigger. Sometimes you might need somewhere to cry, you might need somewhere to vent, and that's okay. We have to have a place where there's no judgment, right? So it's very important that you have the right type of men in your brotherhood. Like I said, a respectable man, a righteous man, and a responsible man, the 3 R's. And when you have that, they can help you navigate to whatever's going on in life. And then at the same time, you're helping them as well, because they're telling you something, and they be at the same time taking their own advice. And if you don't understand how to, get into a brotherhood or how to create one, get out and talk to people. Get out and talk to the men. Get out and have a very long, deep conversation. Get to know one another. See what common things y'all have and stuff like that, and build on that. Everything is about building. We live in a society where everything's about build. You want to build with your fellow brother, because it's not about crabs in the barrel. You want to help him with you and help him succeed and see him further himself in life. So I think that's very important too. There's a movie I was referred to by one of my friends. It's called The Forge. It's on Netflix, so y'all should check it out. I think I mentioned this movie in my first episode about the importance of having a fellowship or a brotherhood where you have men who are trying to build you up and prepare you for life, trying to prepare you and trying to help you whatever way that they can, like different aspects, like whether it's on a mental journey, spiritual journey, physical journey, health journey, stuff like that. And it was a tear-jerking movie. I definitely shed a couple tears, because it's just like the pain and stuff that men go through that we never talk about, and we kind of feel like we don't have a safe space to talk about. I can even use me for an example. I remember a few years back, I went through a very bad breakup, which was my fault. I definitely could take responsibility for that. I just never knew I would ever be in a situation where I could never take a breakup that bad or a heartbreak that bad. It made me do some dumb shit and stuff like that, and I had to overcome that and forgive myself and accept myself at the same time, which is a very, very challenging thing to do. And I think when we get to that point to where we could look back on the things that we did and learn from those mistakes and move forward without trying to make the same mistakes, I think that's when the healing starts. So The Forge is a good movie to reference to. Stuff went off. it's important. I think like the NOI, the FOI, some Hebrew Israelites community, the Moorish community, they all have one thing in common. They believe in a fellowship and a brotherhood. They believe that we stand as a nation, not a religion. We stand united and not divided. And I think that if men could come together and be united, we're unstoppable. And I think that the government and the system knows that, and that's why they try to separate us, whether it's through religion, or whether it's through politics, whether it's through sports, or whatever the case may be. But I think that's very important that we look past all the bullshit and we accept each other where we're at, and we move forward and try to be, and we try to collaborate our thoughts and our opinions on things and the views of life, and we try to move forward and create a strong community for the generation that's coming up. Because I think more important, there's not a lot of fathers out there who are, they're not teaching the young generation what need to be taught to navigate in this life. And you can kind of see it, just how these kids act nowadays. And can't say I blame the parents. I mean, it could be a multitude of things. It could be from, social media. It could be the internet. It could be your peers. It could be the food that you're eating. That's a whole nother episode to talk about. The water you drinking, the atmosphere you in, the environment. It's a lot of different things. So I think it's very important to get a mentor. I think mentorship is very important for every young man out there that's listening to this or will be listening to this. Get you a mentor. If you don't have a father in your life, get you a strong, responsible, righteous, respectable figure. And I think once you get one of those, I think that the sky's the limit. You'll be able to do whatever you can, because what a brotherhood is supposed to do is to help motivate you and get you on the right track and keep you on the right track. It's like y'all all kind of like responsible for each other in a way. And when you're going through something, you turn to your brother like, hey man, like I'm going through this, what should I do? And and he give you some words of wisdom. I think we all need words of wisdom, because there's not a lot of men out here who's giving words of wisdom. And we need to break that like ASAP, like today, like right now. And I'm trying my best to do that. I'm trying to break that cycle. That's why I tell my brothers, because I'm the oldest of four and I got two younger brothers, and I try to tell them like, hey man, like life is, people want to be us so bad, so they're going to try to do whatever they can to manipulate us thinking that we're less than when we're actually all that and some, and they know this. And that's why you need to know yourself. You need to know your capabilities, your powers, and your highest and greatest potential is. And I think that a lot of black men need to know who they are and why they are and what they are and things like that. And once you discover that, or remind yourself really of who you are, can't nobody tell you anything about you. People can have opinions, but as long as you know who you are and what you stand for, the integrity, your moral compass, you go through your rites of passage, like you're and nobody can do nothing to tell you anything differently. And I think that we need more men with that level of confidence and maturity and assurance of themselves to spread the word to everybody and spread the word to the young men out there. So, but like I said, I do recommend a lot of men go out and watch The Forge on Netflix. If you know somebody who got a Netflix, ask them to borrow their account, watch the movie. It's about 2 hours. It takes a minute to get to the point, but when it gets to the point, it's very inspirational and it's life-changing for some. It could be life-changing for all. I mean, if you're not a religious person, you can kind of skip past some of the religious things they talk about, but as long as you get the message that they're trying to convey in that, I think that it'll motivate you. It definitely motivated me for sure. So, as for myself, I personally am trying to create a brotherhood. When I go to the gym, I talk to a lot of the different men in there. I have conversations with them. We talk about different life experiences and stuff like that. And we give each other advice though. And I don't take nothing personal if they saying if I'm right or wrong about stuff, because at the end of the day, they could be telling me something that can save me. And vice versa. I could be telling them something that can save them. So I just kind of feel like people just need to not be scared to just have conversations with people, whether you are an introvert or an extrovert. I'm definitely an introvert, but I know how to still be a people person when I need to be. And actually, in the past couple of years, I've been more of a people person. I have been in my whole life. So I guess that says a lot about my growth and change. But this is not even about me. This is about all of the men. And I really feel like we need this brothership, this mentorship, and this fellowship to help us move forward, especially in the times that we in. It's very important that we have to feel like we matter to somebody and something. And we have to feel like we are loved, cherished, and respected. If we don't get it at home, at least we can get it in the mentorship, we can get it in our fellowship or our brotherhood. So that's the message that I wanted to send out today. I would talk about the women too, as far as like they need a sisterhood too, but I mean, no offense, ladies, I think that y'all got to find a female podcast for that, because that's just a whole nother entity within itself. That's a lot. I have 2 female best friends, so that's a lot. That's a lot. It's easier to talk to men than it is to women, because it's like I have more in common with them to talk about, and it's much more easier to use logic than emotion. But anyway, so that was the conclusion of episode 5, Brotherhood / Fellowship. In a nutshell, I think men out here, we really need to create ourselves a brotherhood with people who are righteous, respectable, and people who are definitely, responsible. And when we get those 3 R's within a man, I think that it creates better men out there. We need better men, not for ourselves, but for our kids, for our younger siblings, for our cousins, or the younger generation. I just think that they need a better example than what is being put out there. So I just think that we just all need to just chip in and do what we got to do. And when we do that, man, I think that when you have men that hold other men accountable, they become better partners for their woman. That's just my opinion. I really believe that, because a man can tell you when you're wrong about something and tell you like, hey, you might want to do a different approach. And then you got some men out there who'll be like, nah, man, you need to leave her alone. But it might be for your own good. So you got to take some things with a grain of salt, and you got to take some things to heart. But that's up to your own intuition, and that's in your own mind. So, we need this focus now, most definitely. And I really think that if you want this brotherhood, you got to get out there and you got to talk to people. You have to, communicate with them. See what y'all have in common. Because at the end of the day, I think the most place where you can try to create a brotherhood is definitely at the gym. That's why I've been creating mine at. I mean, I met some good dudes at the gym, and I talk to them and stuff and hang out with them. And they be kicking game. I kick game and they kick game. To me, it's like, it's all love. So I just feel like, and even tell them about that, like, hey, man, brotherhood is very important, because we could save a life. I could save your life, or I could be saving a life that you want to take somebody else's life. So I mean, it's one of those things like, yeah, we need it. We definitely need it. And I really feel like when you have a brotherhood, it does make you a better man. It makes you a better person, and it makes you a better partner. And from what I've been hearing, I don't know how true this is. This is why I stay off and away from the internet. A lot of men are not being men, and I can kind of see that. It's a lot of fatherless homes. There's not a lot of men who are raising these men up to be the man that they're supposed to be, especially in a society that we live in today. There's too many bitch niggas out here. I'm gonna just keep it a bug. There's too many bitch niggas out here. We ain't got no men with integrity, no great moral compass, and not having a righteous, responsible, respectable mindset. So I just think that that's very important, that we try to navigate them to do that. Now, I got to say this, and I always say this. I'm not trying to tell anybody what to do. I'm just trying to give you a different point of view of looking at stuff. That's all. That's it. You can try it my way, and if it works out for you, I've done my job. You try it your way. If you feel like your way is better, that's cool too. I'm not going to take it personal, because you got to live a life that's empowering to you. I can give you all the wisdom, all the game, but if you feel like you're not, if it's not something that's what I'm looking for, if it's not something that resonates with you, that's okay. So, all right, y'all. So that was the end of that. The next episode I will probably do next week. I'm not sure what day yet, but however, I will give y'all updates and let y'all know. The next topic, I don't know what the next topic is going to be yet because I got a lot of research and studying to do to come up with my topics. So thank you for everybody who tuned in. Thank you for everybody who will be watching later on. Read this. I see an increase in conflict, brothers against brother, men against women. Do you think the system wants to keep us in fear of one another? Oh yeah, for sure. It's been designed like that since the 1970s. Like after MLK was killed and after they got rid of Malcolm, they already knew that the black household was the nuclear family in America, and that's what they wanted to do. I really believe that. And as long as they keep us divided, they will always be winning. I ain't gonna say they won, they just winning right now. But I really do see like it's slowly progressing to where men are seeing shit for what it is, and they're trying to create a different dynamic and a society for each other to where like they can come together instead of being apart. So I think the change is coming. I think the system is definitely trying to break us apart, but I think that system is failing. And I think that men are starting to love themselves more and see the value within themselves and what they can bring to society and create a better infrastructure for the generation after. Like I said, I talk to a lot of different men, so it's a lot of different programs and mentorships that's going on. It's just not televised and it's not put on the internet because that's a positive thing. And what I learned about how this social media work, anything that talks negative about something is always going to get the most popularity. That's just what it is. Negative things always get the most popularity, and that's crazy. Like you don't see a lot of highlighted positive stuff. So yeah, but I don't think we fear one another. I think that society just pits us against each other, and they put fake fear within us because we don't really know what we're scared of. You see the movies, you see these people talking about what they're gonna do. You hear the music. I think music plays an extreme part in the fear from one another and the men versus women. So I just think that sometimes y'all might just need to let go of the rap music. Or not take the rap music to heart. Like listen to some jazz or something. Listen to some R&B. Listen to some love songs. Like people don't listen to love songs no more. I love love songs. I listen to R&B all day, every day. Okay, so I want to stay in a good mood, man. R&B puts me and keeps me in a good mood. So I only listen to rap when I be at the gym because I be in my zone and shit. I be talking a little shit in my head, but that's just for that purposes. So I think people just need to they need to know how to use things for what it's worth without taking it personal or let it affect them in a negative way. So, all right, y'all. So I'm going to go ahead and let y'all go, and I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.